Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. How is everybody doing? Hello, my brothers and sisters. How are you? How are you? All right. So where I am, it is morning. It's actually 8:58, and I have an amazing message for you all. In this um, in this video in particular, I'm just going to be reading excerpts and different pieces from different paragraphs from a book called Spiritual Captivity. Spiritual Captivity. And this book is written by one of my favorite teachers, and his name is Lou White. Lou White is the founder of the Torah Institute. And this book can be bought at torahzone.net, torahzone.net. You can buy this book at torahzone.net. And as I said, he has founded the Torah Institute. I believe that's .com. I want to get that correct. This book can also be bought at Amazon. Yes. So, what is this book talking about? Spiritual captivity. Well, let's get right into it. I'm going to hit you with a 1-2 punch and we're going to be done. Spiritual captivity speaks of a culture shock. A lot of us were raised being taught pagan traditions, pagan holidays, and we were also raised in church under Christian principles. And a lot of those who taught us did not know because it was given to them. They taught us pagan ways and holidays and ways to celebrate this and ways to celebrate that, not knowing that it was shrouded in paganism. So one subject in particular that we're going to talk about is Christmas. Somebody say Christmas. Well, what do you want to talk about Christmas? Well, let's get right into the book. This is on page 10 of Spiritual Captivity. All right. I actually want to go back to page 8 because it gives a little background. And I'm just going to read from the book. Fictional Christmas. An esoteric view of the mythological Christmas, what and who it's really about. And I'm going to show you the picture in the book. If you can see that. It is an old picture and a new picture side by side. Of whom, you might say? Let's see. Nimrod was deified as the sun. S-U-N. All sun deities are babbled forms. And when we say babbled, we're speaking of the Tower of Babel when everyone was basically scattered and they were given so many different languages. And so what it's speaking of, the name was babbled. It just means that there were different names in different languages, but speaking of one person, okay? All sun deities' birthdays were celebrated on December 25th. So what am I saying to you? Nimrod is Santa Claus. December 25th has been someone's birthday for over 4,000 years. He was the first king on earth, built Babel, a tower, and became the first mighty one. Nimrod, the God-man, is who he was known as. This rebel wanted to shoot an arrow at the Most High, Yahuwah, from the top of the tower. He founded the worship of the host of heaven, known today as astrology. And some of you might say, who is Yahuwah? That is the Hebrew name that was taken out of the scriptures for so many hundreds of times, or maybe even thousands, out of the English scriptures, okay? He founded the worship of the host of heaven, he being Nimrod, known today as astrology. This worship of the Mazzaroth, or zodiac, parentheses, animal-shaped star groups, is based on celebrating the rebirth of the sun at the time of the winter solstice in December. So winter solstice is December 25th, the celebration of winter solstice. Since ancient times, the solar birth and all of the symbols associated with the sun worship were practiced honoring the deification of Nimrod. Okay? Nimrod became the template for all sun worship. His name was babbled in the confusion of languages, becoming Shamash, Ra, Mithras, Moloch, Baal, Apollo, Kronos, Orion, Got, Odin, Zeus, and Krishna, etc. His identity is occulted in the character of Santa Claus, Krampus, or also known as Old Nick. Okay? Programmed from childhood is the name of this next section. And it reads, the founder of the Societas of Jesus, which we can say the Society of Jesus is what they're also known as, used this maxim, quote, give me the child for the first 7 years and I'll give you the man, end quote. Inigo Loyola, founder of Societas Jesus, or Jesuits, he said, a day is coming. I'm sorry, let me redo that. I'm reading too fast. This quote, the book is reading that this quote was quoted by Inigo Loyola, founder of Society of Jesus, or the Jesuits. He's the founder of the Jesuits. And I hope that I'm saying that name right. Inigo, last name Loyola. That is the founder of the Society of Jesus, or Isu. A day is coming when all mankind will be judged for causing stumbling blocks. Not those who were victims, but those who caused the stumbling blocks will be harshly judged. The main reason you are reading about it. Children were always the target. Children are the target in the horrible movies and the symbols that are taught in a lot of the cartoons. You know, you have witches and you have sorcery in a lot of these movies. You have hand symbols. It's everywhere. It's in the music. It's in movies. It's in cartoons. It's in the holidays. It's in the propaganda in the stores when they bring out all of the celebration and what am I thinking of? The decoration. That's what I'm trying to say. Children are the target. Even the commercials with toys and you have the Happy Meals from McDonald's. This is horrible food, but they needed to appeal to children. So what do the children do? Mommy, Daddy, I need this. Mommy, Daddy, can I please get this? And most people know that parents want to please their children. And if they get on their nerves long enough, they're gonna bend and do it, right? That's the plan. Maimonides, 1135 to 1204, wrote about the strong opinion of habit in his book. Guide for the Perplexed is the title of that book. And there's a quote in there that says, men like the opinions to which they have been accustomed from their youth. They defend them and shun contrary views. And this is one of the things that prevents men from finding truth, for they cling to the opinion of habit, end quote. And 2 Timothy 4:4 says, teachers will abandon the truth and turn aside to myths. This next section speaks of the missionary adaptation of Christmas. Dionysius Exiguus, a Scythian monk, visited Rome. Now we see that a lot of these things came from Rome. As you continue to do your studies on your own, a lot of things came from Rome. He visited Rome in the year 525, and this gives you an idea of how far back these traditions go. If we do study far back beyond the 19th and 20th century, we'll see where a lot of these things came from, okay? This Scythian monk, he visited Rome in 525, and he witnessed Rome's fertility festival of Saturnalia, or the worship of Saturn. And we still have Saturn worshipers here in America. If you do a little research, you'll find out who the Saturn worshipers are. This Scythian monk went to Rome and saw this Saturnalia celebration and was appalled by it. History tells us he modified the reason for the celebration, and the whole world now thinks of December 25th as the birth of Mashiach, or the Messiah, or the Christ. A revision mostly unexplored by most people. Most people don't know where it revised or originated from. People live on lies and myths passed down. Every popular celebration you can think of is directly inherited from pagan fertility worship from our ancestors. Even our ancestors were infiltrated with this belief, and they don't even know where it came from. It was just passed down, and they passed it down to us. Paul was concerned that his work had been in vain among the Galatians. Being formerly heathens, they were falling back into their old pagan traditions and special days. He called their former pagan customs weak and miserable principles. Pastors falsely teach their flocks that these Galatians were falling back into Torah, which is the first 5 books of the scriptures. No. They were falling back into these worship of these pagans and these holidays that we celebrate now, today. Which means he was also talking about us. Those scriptures in Galatians is talking about what we're doing now. He called their former pagan custom weak and miserable principles. And the pastors that you hear of are falsely teaching their flock that these Galatians were falling back into Torah. Yahusha, or some who call Jesus, which is a false name, Yahusha is opening our eyes now, and abiding in his word is setting us free of the devil's schemes. He is calling us to come out of the mother of harlots, which is also known of Babel's traditions. Even the word Easter refers to Ishtar. Her Celtic name was Ostre, Eostre. Her flower was the lily, and her sun-spiked image stands in New York Harbor. And what stands in New York Harbor? As I end this video, it is the Statue of Liberty. And so those who think that America was built on Christian principles, which Christianity is laced with a whole bunch of these pagan holidays, were deceived. Yes, there was a group of people called the Society of Jesus, but even the name Jesus came from a culmination and a mashup of Zeus, Jupiter, Mithra, Krishna, and all these other names. So it is a false name, and America was not built on principles that stem from the Elohim, or some may say the God of Isaac and Jacob. Our country was not founded on those principles. We were lied to and told that they were stemmed from the God of Isaac and Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But it was not. It was built on sun worship. Stay tuned for more videos like this. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is a channel that is going to set you free. I have come to set my people free. That is my purpose on this earth. And if you continue, brothers and sisters, we're going to come all the way out of Babel. I'm going to help you get out of Babel. Stay tuned. Have an awesome day and be blessed.